Okay, book talk. I'm going to talk about this Everything's Fine, the book that just came, or it hasn't come out yet, but it got review bombed. And I swear to God, I talk about this all the time on YouTube with books and YA and people who don't fucking read shit before they blow the fuck up and make assumptions. So one, this is not in like defense of the book. I obviously haven't fucking read it. But let's talk about the premise. First of all, let's talk about where publishing fucked up. They call it a love story. This is clearly literary fiction. This isn't a love story because it does not follow the general genre like promises, as in a happily ever after or a meet cute, and it's all about the romance and understanding romance. This is described as a coming of age book that's all about a kind of self-awakening. Can you imagine for just a fucking second, outside of whoever the fuck you are, being a black woman who just so happens to not have strong cultural ties? This character in the book has issues with her mother. Whether she has one or not, I don't fucking know. But haven't read it. Like all you other dumb bitches out there. But she doesn't have strong cultural ties, which means that she doesn't have strong self-identity. So she doesn't have a strong sense of self. And I know all you bitches can really fucking relate to that. Because who with a strong sense of self is going to put themselves out on Ugly Street just making opinions about shit they don't know nothing about? Who? I'm sorry, that was so mean. I'm just really riled up. This always gets me so riled up because it's like, this is so easily mistaken. But let's keep going. Imagine you wake up in a world that is heavily becoming more indoctrinated to hate people that look like you. And before you were able to function, and now everything is falling apart. And the person that you have general interest and you share human interest with is now starting to look at you as a binary and starting to treat you. That is a very alien kind of crazy ass thing. First of all, publishing, why the fuck would you market that as a romance? Is it because she's black and you think black people don't have good romances? Do you think that we find that romance? Like, first of fucking all, as a black woman who has an amazing romance life, fucking insulting. If this was written for a white woman, besides the Nazi ones, because those ones tended to have like positive endings or bad endings because, you know, it's Nazi romance. Like, that was a fucking weird era. But if Cecilia, the author, had been a white woman, this would have been marketed definitely as fucking literary fiction. Or if she would have already have had a strong writer base or book base, you know, she had already like been writing books like a Roxane Gay, then it would have just been marketed as a Cecilia Robbins book. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would have been marketed as like she's in her own niche. But because she's new, they decided to market it as a fucking romance, a love story. Like, who was not thinking there in the marketing department? Who was not putting two and two together about the world? And this is the one thing I cannot fucking stand about publishing, is y'all bitches be so far fucking behind. Like, as much as you are writing, and you're writing 2 years into the future, because you're publishing and you're buying books that will come out 2 years later, which makes you slow as fuck. But as you're doing that, you're also looking at the current times, but you're not putting two to two together? Like, who the fuck? Like... But again, that was a massive mistake. But let's talk about the constant not being able to be curious about things that are strange and being like, I wonder what this is and why, instead of reacting. Because obviously, looking further into this book as she interviews, the romance does not go well because it's full of turmoil. 1, 2, it's covering the 2018 era where people were becoming heavily indoctrinated. That's a fucking event. 3, it talks about a lot of the internal issues that someone's dealing with. I think a lot of people could relate to this because, 1, how many bitches out there with the Andrew Tates and the Kevin Samuels and, I don't know, all of the fucking men these days having, like, you know, to cry alone at night because they're just not up to par when it comes to being able to date a woman and being respectful. First of all, they don't have self-respect. So they're, you know, we're coming in contact with all sorts of men and their problems and women being like, I don't want this. So in the modern age where that's going on, how many of you are in healthy, sustaining relationships where you haven't just recently figured out that you were anxiously or avoidantly attached? Because you know what? This timeline has been so boring for me because it's all been about everybody's mental health fucking problems and how people aren't actually solving them, but just trying to label themselves so that they can be a part of another group or another community where y'all don't do shit but complain about your fucking problems. Like, this is the book for you. And y'all out here just jumping on bandwagons like idiots with everybody else being like, we don't want a conservative, like, romance. That's not what it is. It's not what it is. It's not what it is. Like, I know I sound like I'm so mad. It's really, I find this fucking hilarious because, like, this happens every single fucking time. You fucking bitches can't read. You guys jump on fucking bandwagons. You're all fucking sheep. Like, wake the fuck up. Like, every time something comes out that will wake you up, y'all act like fucking crazy people. And it's like, I'm sorry, who amongst you? And I know I'm talking to like general crowds of dumb bitches. And it's the general crowds of dumb bitches who were enraged by that. Not just everybody. Okay, this is not a video for everybody. I waited 5 minutes to say that. But anyways, who amongst you dumb bitches are in a healthy relationship? I know most of y'all haven't had one. A lot of y'all are young. I know most of you who have had them have had negative ones because I'm sorry, the percentages, the statistics out there, they're statisticking. It's bad out there. It's bad. So I don't understand how most of y'all looked at that. And you know what it is? It's the anti-self-reflection. It's the inability to look at something and reflect. And also, we're going to talk about the racism in there because, again, a black woman wrote about it. And instead of being like, gee, what if this is Cecilia's story? I'm not going to put that on Cecilia, but like, what if this is her story? What if this happened to her? Like, instead of being like, we don't need any more like that. No, you do. The fuck you do. First of all, we had fucking Twilight. That Bella Swan bitch fell in love with a crazy ass fucking stalker vampire who was gonna murder her and her entire fucking family if she slept weird at night. Like, let that bitch catch a period. She probably had, you know, endometriosis, and that's the only thing that saved her till marriage because they were Mormon. Anyways, the point is, y'all allow the dumbest fucking shit, the toxic, most craziest shit to exist in media. But when something that challenges you comes into play, that actually challenges the way you think and believe because it's presented in a way that just is too close to home, you act like this. Too fucking brand new. If you don't sit your old dusty ass, crummy ass down and read a book before you form opinions on it. Oh my God. Okay, I came back to mention this one thing too. For people who are not black women who are going to read that book, I think it's going to be very interesting for them to find out who they actually resonate with. That they probably won't resonate with the main character. They will probably resonate with some of the bigoted people around that main character. Because let's be honest, why is it that so many fucking people who aren't black women, and black women get the most racial violence out of every other single fucking group in this country? Because it is systematically set up for that. So I wonder, why is it that so many people who aren't black women just think that they're not racist? You guys are fucking delusional. Like, how can we all be indoctrinated into the same base programming? And yet, I don't know. The indoctrination just skipped over some of you. That's not how it works. It's not how it works. You don't even know what you're doing half the time is fucking offensive because everybody does it. It's normalization. So most racism is so normalized that you're completely taken off guard that this would even be considered bigoted or rude. So I'm sitting here like, you know what? Maybe y'all shouldn't read it. It give you existential crisis. It would make you realize how you actually look in the lives of some people that you think that you are allies of versus how they actually perceive you. And that's just me giving this book like the benefit of the doubt because I haven't read it. Maybe Miss Cecilia is not very good at writing. Maybe it's crazy. Maybe the book is all wildly crazy. But all I know is that it caused all this much ruckus, so it can't be that bad. Maybe all of that overreaction was y'all ancestors trying to get you to pay attention. Like, hey, you should read this. And all your base programming was like, oh no. I know this is going to get rid of some egos out here. It's going to be bad. It's bad. Say it's bad. We don't like romances with conservative bigots. We're on a high horse, as if all y'all aren't sleeping next to one right now. That was a gross overalization because I just assumed so many people were in hetero relationships with crazy white men. That went out to a very select few people, and that, you know, whatever. Anyways, carry on. You'll probably have opinions about this that I won't read because I'm already bored by it. Bye!